Hey, welcome to Sasquatch and Cigars. My name's Thomas. This is the late edition of Sasquatch and Cigars. Um, for this edition, we're going to smoke a cigar and we're going to discuss Sasquatch. The cigar I've chosen, because I just came off of Memorial Day weekend. Today was actually Memorial Day. Today, May 25th, is my birthday. So I was saving a cigar for Thanksgiving, but I decided it's my birthday. I'm going to smoke this cigar. Normally, I try and keep my cigars between 5 and 15 bucks. Sometimes I'll go a little bit over that. But I heard about this cigar and I really wanted to try it, and I had an opportunity to buy it. I had a little extra money, and so I purchased it. This is the most expensive cigar that I've purchased myself. Not the most expensive cigar that you will ever find by far, but for me, this was a price stretch. The cigar I'm talking about is the Fuente Opus X Tempo de Oro. This cigar is, I believe, it's the number 8 or 13. I can't remember. I forgot to look at the box, but 6 and an eighth inch by 52 ring gauge. If it's the 8, 6 and an eighth inch by 58 ring gauge if it's the 13. Again, I haven't measured it and I can't remember off the top of my head. So this particular cigar, it's highly sought after in the Opus X line. Maybe the actual line is highly sought after. They're hard to come by, and I actually ended up finding them at Casa de Monte Cristo in 1960, and so I picked up a couple for a friend of mine, and I decided I'd pick one up for me because I wanted to try it. Uh, this particular cigar, I'll put that down for a second. Um, this particular cigar was crafted in the uh, Tabacalera e Fuente y Cia in the Dominican Republic. Again, I have to read off my notes because I'm doing this kind of on the fly. I read what they said were supposed to be the tasting notes and stuff. I'm not going to call those out because I want to see what I get off of it myself. The wrapper, binder, and filler are a closely guarded secret from the Fuente family. And So we're going to get into this and we're going to see we're going to see about it. Now, I figured a cigar would deserved a new cutter. My old cutter was getting really dull. So I picked up this circle cutter, also at Casa de Monte Cristo. It's a perfect cut. So when you open it up, if you look inside, you can see that it's got this backing right here. So you just put the cigar in and you cut it. Oops. And I dropped it. Hold on just a minute. Again, still new to videoing, and pardon my French, but shit happens. All right. So anyway, so we're going to use that to cut the cigar. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So I'm going to put the mic down. Now, this is beautifully wrapped. And the label on it is very beautiful. The craftsmanship that has gone into this cigar is just pretty much unmatched. So I'm going to take the wrapper off. This is a wrapper that I will be saving. And again, maybe not. It just the wrapper came apart on it. Hopefully the upper part doesn't come apart on me, because I really do want to save that part. There we go. All right. Smells kind of sweet to me. Oh, I guess it would help if I... Rookie mistake. Cut the cigar first. That's what I get for doing such a late show and trying to throw stuff together. I will say the draw on this is super easy. There's no resistance whatsoever. Off the first actual light draw, when I lit it, I'd have to say that I kind of got a woodsy taste to it. Right now I'm getting kind of a cedary taste from it. Yeah, so far it's kind of hitting kind of woodsy and stuff. The wrapper on this is very light, as you can see. My ring light is attracting June bugs, so you're probably going to see June bugs flying around because it is late at night. The taste is very mild. This is definitely a mild to medium bodied cigar. There's nothing harsh about this thing. Getting a little creamy notes from it now, but we're gonna talk about Sasquatch as I get into this first third of this cigar. So I'm gonna grab my notes. All right. You'll have to excuse me because I'm going to read from my notebook. I don't care. That's just the way I roll right now. Eventually, I'm hoping to get like a whiteboard or something that I can put notes behind the camera so I can just read off of it and maybe look a little more professional. But for now, notes. So the first sighting that I'm going to talk about is I looked up on the BFRO, which is the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. It's a lot of words, I guess, late at night. On May the 8th, there was a Class A sighting in Washington State near Carson, about 1 to 2 miles south of Hemlock Road. The reporter, the person who witnessed it and reported the incident, her name is Gail. She was driving south, had just passed a jogger, and she was doing about 50 miles an hour, and she saw a reddish brown furry figure standing at the top of an embankment near some trees. She's lived in Washington State her entire life. She is 70 years old, and married, has 3 grown kids and grandkids. So she has really no reason to lie about something like this, and she's very familiar with the animals of the area as she's lived there her whole life. And she swears up and down that this was not an elk, this was not a bear. It was, her mind went straight to Sasquatch. Um, and it happened at about 12 noon, I believe is what it said it was. And the day, it was clear, 65 degrees out. And like I said, she had witnessed it. She had just passed up a driver, so she was going a little bit slower because she had slowed down to, make sure that she got past the jogger without hitting them. I think I said driver, but I meant jogger. Anyways, follow-up investigation was done by Matthew Moneymaker. I believe he's one of the guys that actually started the BFRO. He found her to be a credible witness, and she just recounted the same thing. Her story never changed, and so she seemed like she was being very truthful. She just spoke about what it was that she saw, and went from there. Yeah, June bugs. Great. Anyways, so let's see if we can get through this without getting attacked by too many June bugs. They seem to like my hat. On May 16th in Massachusetts, there was a Class B sighting. The nearest town was Florida, Massachusetts. And the husband and wife were driving in the Berkshires of Massachusetts in the Savoy National Forest, and they had recently watched an episode of Small Town Monsters and were very interested in the subject of Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Not sure that I'm too pleased with the burn on this thing. It seems to be burning kind of uneven for the amount of money I paid for it. Let me fix that a little bit. You pay $40 for a stick, you expect it to burn evenly. All right, back to the story. This one was submitted by the husband who was driving, George. They were driving through the forest, and they decided to drive off the main road, and they got off into an area that was like pretty remote, and they parked, and so they were sitting on the road, and there was part of the on one side it went uphill, and on the other side it went downhill. And George said he decided to make a loud whoop call because he had seen the people on the show doing that, and immediately he said he and his wife reported immediately after him doing that they heard a wood knock and some vocalizations coming from downhill, and it kind of startled them because there was some odd vocalizations. And so after hearing that, they waited for a few minutes and he decided to whoop again. This time they got a vocalization from uphill on the other side of the car, and a wood knock that was really loud, which indicated that it was kind of close to them. And they sat there for a little bit. I believe it said his wife whooped out the window, and it whooped back. And the one uphill was doing all kinds of chattering and vocalizations and knocking. And this started the first one downhill to start vocalizing again. And they swear up and down that it sounded like some type of language going back and forth between them. This persisted for a little while until a dog started barking off in the distance, and it got him to quiet down. George had stated that he was wanting to step out of the car and do some investigation, but his wife was worried and told him that they needed to, she felt like they needed to get out of there, and being that they're in their 70s, he agreed, and they got out of there. Now, this particular one was followed up by BFRO investigator Jonathan Wilk. He was able to use GPS and find the exact location of where this incident happened, and he went out there and he did some investigating on a grid type pattern around the woods and stuff, and he decided to look uphill and then downhill. He found some interesting stick, what he called, let's see, stick structures. That's what he looked like there was some stick structures both up and downhill. He also found some possible tracks, but he stated that they weren't in any condition to take any casts of. So, he kind of stated that this was, and I believe he talked to the couple, and he felt like it was a credible sighting. The difference between the two sightings, so the first one was a visual, which is Class A, and this one was a vocalization of wood knocks, which is Class B. I decided to do two different ones to kind of demonstrate the difference between the two again for people that don't know. And I myself can now state that I've had what I think is a Class B encounter. We didn't hear any vocalizations, but what we did hear towards the end of our nighttime investigation was whistling off in the distance in the woods, and this was not a bird of any kind that I've ever heard. Could it have been a person off in the woods just messing with us because they saw us out hiking in the middle of the night? It's possible. But it was kind of eerie and creepy. I whistled back, even though they say you're not supposed to whistle back, but I did. I'm trying to get the file from my daughter who got the whistle. You can hear it in the distance. It's pretty hard to hear with all the background noise on her phone, but I'm hoping to get it, and I'll put the unedited version up, and then I'm going to try and single out the whistling in the background. And then hopefully you can be the judge as to whether that is something to be investigated further or not. Kind of sweet now. A lot of smoke coming off of the end of that, which is good. That means that there's still a good bit of oils in the wrapper. This particular cigar has been sitting in my humidor for about 2.5 months. I bought it 2.5 months ago, and like I said, I intended on saving it until Thanksgiving, but decided to smoke it tonight. We had a really good weekend. Again, we celebrated my birthday and my son's birthday and my anniversary all in one weekend. And we did a crawfish boil yesterday, and it turned out really good. And now I have a crap ton of crawfish to peel and get ready, and then I'm gonna make a big old stock out of the heads and make some crawfish water so I can make rice out of it. If you haven't ever done that, you need to do it, because it makes some of the best rice that you'll ever have, I guarantee. This thing is remaining very mild. There is really no harshness to this cigar whatsoever. So far, my only complaint with it has been the burn at the beginning, but I corrected it, and now it seems to be burning kind of even around. So maybe I was a little judgmental at the beginning, but you never know. I mean, $40 for a stick, and you want it to be perfect. Tobacco on my lips. Sorry. Um, so some of my friends have been asking, "Hey, when's the next adventure going to be in the woods?" Uh, that I'm not sure about. Um, One of my birthday gifts, my wife has purchased me tickets to the Bigfoot conference that's going on in Jefferson, Texas. That's going on in October. So we're going to gear up to go to that. I think most of my finances are going to be to get set up for that. I'm hoping to get a t-shirt or two printed out with my Sasquatch and Cigars logo on, so that I can go up there and represent Sasquatch and Cigars. I'm going to order a bunch of stickers and stuff like that and get them passed out while I'm there. Um, and probably won't be able to do it this year, but maybe one year I'll be able to get a booth there and maybe set up a quote unquote cigar lounge at the conference where those people who are Bigfoot enthusiasts that enjoy a good stick every now and then can come in and smoke a cigar. I'm thinking about doing some day investigations where I just get up at oh god 30 on a Saturday if I don't have to work, and taking off up to like uh, the Big Piney Thicket in East Texas, finding some spots out there and just spending the day out there seeing what we can see. Um, I don't think I'm not sure I'm going to be doing night investigations for a while. Maybe one of them will turn into a night investigation, but by no means will we be spending the night out there because we're coming into the summer in Texas, and it's promising to be a brutally hot summer this year. And I don't know if you've ever tried to sleep in a tent in the nighttime when it's hot out. It's miserable. Not doing it. Um, that being said, I don't mind going out there and walking in the woods as long as I know I'm going to get back to my truck and drive home and get a shower and get in bed and be in the AC. um, on a side note, I did pick up some new equipment. The light you're seeing is a ring light that I purchased, that holds my phone, and it has a remote that I can start and stop my phone. I kind of wish that it would start, pause, unpause, pause, and then stop, but it doesn't. It's start and stop only. So if I hit the stop button, then the video ends and I got to go on. I'd like to try and find one that would pause it so that I can get up and go, because I would like to get up and go get the new gimbal that I bought. I bought a gimbal for a new camera that I bought. Uh, um, the gimbal is a Hohem MT3 Pro, and it is 365-degree access, tilt. It's got AI tracking, so you can set it up and start a video, and as you walk around, the thing will follow you around. It's got a tripod that you can attach to it so you can elevate it a little bit. And it's handheld as well. Um, it's got a screen that you can detach and remote control it, and you can actually see on that screen what your camera is seeing, so that you can make sure that your shot is good before you like actually start it. And I'm pretty excited about using that. And the camera that I got is a Canon. I'm really gonna have to do some studying on how to use these pieces of equipment to get the fullest use out of them. There's a lot of bells and whistles that comes with that gimbal. So I imagine it's going to take me quite some time to figure it out and get it worked out. I decided to go with this ring light that I'm using because I've been told that my videos out here, when I do them at night, my face is really dark and so it's hard to see. But I'm hoping that this will lighten it up. I did a couple of test shots before I actually started recording, and it looks like it is going to do a pretty good job. Definitely a pretty good stick. Without the ability, so because my remote won't pause the video, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go pause the video, and I will be right back. Okay, coming back on camera. I decided to just stand up and do that. Maybe I can edit it out later and cut the thing so there's a little bit. But this is the gimbal that I got. Look at that beast. This is a monstrosity that I'm going to try and figure out how to use. I would try and demonstrate it, but I haven't even... let me check. Okay, it's powering on, so let's see what happens. It says it's auto calibrating 20%. This might take a minute. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be moving it around. It did come with instructions, but like a typical man, I didn't read the instructions. What I'm going to do is end up probably watching a tutorial video on how to use this thing. Anyways, this is it. This is a beast. I'm trying to get a little bit more professional looking with my videos, so I made an investment on some equipment, as you can see. I'm also going to make I am also going to make an investment in myself to try and take better notes, study my notes, and then, like I said, hopefully get a whiteboard to where I can, put the notes up on the whiteboard and just read off of that. That way I'm not holding a notebook here in front of the camera. Eventually, I'm hoping to get to where I don't have to use notes. I've always struggled with memorizing things, but hopefully going through all this process of going down rabbit holes for you guys and doing some studying will help me with that. That being said, I'm going to stand up again and pause the video again and smoke a little bit more of this cigar, and then I will come back on when I get a little further into it. Okay, I'm at the halfway point, just starting it. The profile seems to be holding it kind of a light oaky, cedary flavor. I'm getting some creamy notes. There seems to be like a natural sweetness to it. It's a pleasant cigar. There's no doubt about that. Very easy on the draw. Um, Again, I kind of wish the burn would be a little more even for its price point. Um, but I'm enjoying it. The retrohales on this thing are very smooth. They do not burn your nose at all. So they're very pleasant. Retrohaling this has been one of the more pleasant cigars. I decided to go in and get a Coke Zero because I don't want to be spitting off to the side. Cigars still make me spit, but I can mitigate that by drinking. I am not drinking alcohol tonight. I had a shot of bourbon while I was at the cigar lounge today to celebrate my birthday with my son Patrick. One shot and done, and lost at a game of chess. A guy there named Corey, he beat my pants off. I really enjoy playing him because he's one of the better players there. And you're only going to get better at chess if you play people better than you, and he is by far way better than I am. So, that being said, Corey, if you happen across one of my videos, appreciate the game. I always enjoy playing with you, and I hope to play again soon. Um, I'm still kind of on the fence about Sasquatch, whether it's real or not. Um, I know I was kind of funned on about that a little bit, but it doesn't bother me one bit. Uh, you know, again, I'm doing it mostly to stay active, get exercise, get out there in the woods, and just have fun doing something. You know, find a hobby that you enjoy and get out there and do it. I really enjoy fishing. I really enjoy camping. Sasquatch hunting is something new, so I can wrap that up in with my camping and fishing because this fall when I go up, I'm hoping to do like maybe a 2 or 3 day sojourn near Caddo Lake and do some fishing and squatching up there. I did see that Small Town Monsters went up to Caddo Lake and they released a video on that. Just by seeing, boy, sorry, by seeing what they filmed, it's very beautiful up there, and I'm hoping to go up and take a look at it. And you know, there seems to be in that area of Texas a large number of sightings of Sasquatch reported, both visual and vocalizations and wood knocks. So hopefully we can catch something on camera. Um, Even if it's just a wood knock or a howl in the woods or something like that, that would be cool. The draw on this cigar has stayed consistent and smooth and easy so far. By far one of the easiest drawing cigars that I've smoked yet. Um, so in that aspect, I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Again, for those of you watching, I would like to interact with you as far as hearing stories that maybe you have of strange things in the woods or strange things that you've seen. It doesn't have to be Sasquatch. It can be, like Dogman or even paranormal. We can, talk about that. I'm not really going to evolve this into a communication thing, but I'm hoping to do some, when I go out to my sites of investigation, I'm hoping to talk to some people while I'm there. When we went to Stubblefield Lake Recreational Area, I talked to the camp host. I think I said this in the other video, but they didn't really want to go on camera or anything like that, and I understand that. Not everybody wants to stick their head out there and say, "Hey, look at me! I heard something in the woods." But if you want to email me a story or something like that, and you don't mind me telling it, on my channel. If you don't want your name mentioned, just put it in the email. Don't mention my name. Give as much details as you can, and I'll tell your story. You never know where this is going to lead. It's a huge rabbit hole, and I think I've said it before. I'm hoping to expand into other cryptids. I mentioned before that my second favorite cryptid is the Dogman. So maybe I'll start looking into doing some stuff on that. I haven't even scratched the surface of whether or not there were Dogman sightings in Texas or not, but honestly, to my recollection, right now, I don't think there have been. I might be wrong. But anyways, I'm gonna pause the video again, smoke this down a little bit more, and we'll come back as I get closer to the end. Okay, so I'm back again. Getting to the final, starting the final third of the cigar. Want to be honest with my reviews. Again, the burn has started to get a little uneven, and as you can see, the wrapper is kind of peeling right there. I think that's from the heat. Just going to smoke it a little bit more and see if the burn evens out. If not, I may have to even the burn out myself. The sorry, the tasting notes have the woodsy, oaky, cedary that I was getting in the first part of the cigar kind of moved into a creamy sweet, and that's kind of where it's hanging at right now, is creamy and sweet. Again, I'm a little disappointed in the burn. For a cigar that costs as much as what this one did, I would expect it to burn evenly all the way around. I've taken really good care of this cigar. It's been in a humidor that's roughly floated between 67 and 70% humidity. So I don't think that would have had any effect on why it's essentially canoeing like this. But again, as far as like the rest of the cigar, it's, other than that, it's been a wonderful smoke. Yeah, I think I'm gonna even out the burn, because the more I draw on it, the more it just continues to lower on this side and stay a little higher on this side. So let me see what I can do. So I got it to be a little bit more even around. We'll see if it holds. This is the second time I've had to correct the burn. Man, they make it to where makes it very difficult to save these wrappers. I'm playing with it here. Whoop, burnt my finger. Don't want to do that. Well, it looks like the wrapper is going to disagree with me trying to get it off without destroying it, but I'm going to try still. Okay, I got it off. But as you can see, I'm going to have to do some fixing to the wrapper, but I am going to keep this wrapper just because I really like the way that it looks. So let me show you the flattened out wrapper. Took some of that long ash off the end. I will say that on most of the other cigars that I've smoked, I guess I'm kind of used to the nicotine in the cigar, so I don't really get too much of a cigar buzz. But this one is a nice little cigar buzz. I'm kind of excited about going to this Bigfoot festival. Honestly, I like going to weird things like that. I tend to geek out at things. Last year, my wife took me to Comic Palooza. That was pretty awesome. I've been to the Texas Renaissance Fair many times. I've been to the Sherwood Forest Fair up near Austin. That was fun. We went with a great group of people. It happened to be our actual D&D group that we play D&D with. For those of you that don't know what D&D is, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, I play. It's fun. It's a fun distraction, and you get to hang out with your friends. Um, and it was, it's always a fun time. I play with a group of friends. I also play with my in-laws. Um, we have a campaign going on that I'm actually running for them. By running it, I mean I'm the dungeon master, so I control the narrative, and they get to play out what's going on in front of them. If any of my people that watch this that are in the Houston, Texas area, um, if you ever want to get together for a game, let me know. There's a couple of places where we can meet up at, and play together. Um, you know, like I said, it's just a fun distraction from life. I realize this video is probably going to be a longer one simply because of the size and length of the cigar. Um, I think maybe I should have probably looked up a few more sightings and we could have talked about those, but I didn't. um, uh, if like I said, if there's any sightings that happen in the area where you live, let me know. Maybe I could look those up and we could talk about those. Um, just a quick announcement of some stuff that's coming up. My son, Patrick, for my birthday, got me a sampler pack of Definition cigars. Um, so, and there's a lot of cigars in this pack that I haven't had. I believe there's 2 or 3 that I have had. Um, I will definitely be doing um, some cigar reviews on those, and I think I'm just going to do a series of just Definition cigar reviews, just because it's the Definition Cigars is based out of Dallas, so it is a Texas-based cigar company, and as far as I'm concerned, they make a high-quality cigar. Even getting close to the end, the retrohale on this is still smooth, no burn. Um, Still just getting like a sweet cream flavor from it. Um, it's a pleasant cigar, other than the uneven burn. It looks like it's burning kind of even now that I corrected it, but I'm hoping that it'll stay that way. It didn't stay that way the last time, but we'll see how it goes as I get into this final third. Um, the time right now is 12:40, coming up on 12:45 a.m. So it's getting kind of late. I kind of want to finish the video and finish the cigar, but I think it's probably going to make the video just end up being a bit too long for most people. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to pause the video again. When I put this video out, I'm just going to put it out unedited. I'm not going to cut it up. I'm not going to edit anything out of it. What you see is what you get. That's kind of the way I tend to roll. The only thing that's holding me back on putting my nighttime investigation videos out is because, like I said, I have to figure out how to do voiceovers on them. And, hopefully I can get that worked out really quickly and get those nighttime videos out so you guys can see. Like I said, that was my first nighttime investigation, so there was a lot of snafus that happened on my account, like completely forgot to turn my mic on. And it was just kind of disappointing on my part for doing that. Sorry, I feel like I got something crawling underneath my sleeve, but there's nothing there. I guess one too many dive bombs from June bugs. I managed to kill the ones that were flying around, and I haven't seen any new ones coming by, so hopefully I got rid of the ones that were here, and the rest of them were like, oh crap, this guy means business. I know my wife is texting me because I've seen, and I know she wants me to come up to bed soon. But I want to finish this. and it was my birthday yesterday, so there. Actually, with it being the 26th of May, that is now transitioned into my son Robert's birthday. He is my oldest son, and so happy birthday to Robert. I love you a lot, and hopefully you watch this video and get to the point to where I actually tell you happy birthday in the video. This is definitely, it's a good cigar. I wouldn't go anywhere near saying that this is the best cigar that I've ever had. Again, the price point was $40, and yeah, $40 for this cigar, a little bit overpriced if you ask me. I get you're paying for the name, and you're paying for the mystery of what the wrapper, binder, and fillers are, because they don't tell you what they constructed out of. And it's a good cigar. I have to say that honestly, this probably would not make it into my top 10 cigars. I'm not sure where I would place this cigar, but definitely not in my top 10. Which is kind of disappointing considering it's a pricier cigar, so you would figure, it's gonna be off the charts good, and I paid a lot of money for it, and blah 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 blah. But I've seen on other cigar channels that I've watched that elevated price doesn't always necessarily mean elevated quality. Again, there's a lot of other sticks that are don't cost as much as this one that are way more enjoyable. Honestly, I'm not sure I would even recommend the Opus X for anybody. Oh, look, there's a bug on me. Yay. I thought I felt something crawling on me. Stupid bugs. It's the light. The light is causing them to come in. But yeah, I would recommend other cigars that I've had over this one. On a scale of 1 to 10, in my personal opinion, I put this cigar at maybe a 4, 4.5. Mostly because the burn kept getting uneven. and mostly because of the price point and honestly the lack of flavor notes. Um, you know, I get better flavor notes and better taste out of the Liga Privada number 9 that I smoke. I get better taste and flavor notes out of the Isla del Sols, and I definitely get better flavor notes and more enjoyment out of the Definition cigars that I've smoked. If somebody gifts you this cigar, then by all means smoke it, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it then. But if you purchase it yourself, yeah, you probably aren't going to like it that much. Just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Pretty sure you heard the door open and close. That was my lovely wife, Lisa, to come tell me, hey, it's almost 1 o'clock. I thought you fell asleep out here. No, ma'am, I did not. I'm making a video and trying to get through it. Even down in the final third of this cigar, I will say the retrohale is still very smooth and easy. It is not harsh at all. Excuse me. I would definitely put this cigar in a mild bodied cigar. I don't even know if I'd go medium bodied. This has been a very mild bodied cigar. If these were inexpensive cigars, then I would steer somebody to try this as their first cigar, just because it's that mild. So it's definitely not a harsh cigar in any stretch. So I think it would be a decent cigar for somebody who is just wanting to try a cigar for the first time. Other than it's a very expensive cigar, so that's going to steer the newbies away from it. So on that point, just price alone, I would steer somebody to a different cigar. But like I said, if this was a lot less expensive, I might say, hey, try that Opus X Temple de Oro. It's a good starter cigar. So it as far as cigars go, yeah, it's a decent cigar. But like I said, 4.5 at best for me personally. Some people may be like, "Oh, damn, you're totally doing it. You don't know what you're talking about. That's a Opus X and it's Fuente and yada 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 yada." Well, I'm just giving you my honest opinion about it. That's a jet going over top. I think that being said, even though I'm about maybe a quarter into the final third of the cigar, I'm gonna end the video there. My final thoughts on the cigar, like I just said, 4.5, decent mild cigar. Tasting notes that I pulled out of it, cedary, oaky at the beginning, but very light. sweet and cream towards the middle. Some cedar notes are coming back into it, but it's still kind of a sweet, creamy flavor to it. So, like I said, if you get a chance to try one, and let's, probably never going to happen, but if it's a freebie, try it. If it's not a freebie, then, go to a cheaper cigar because you'll enjoy it more. Thanks for watching. Have a great night and God bless.